Reynolds gets the draw of Latrell West. He flips one up and it won't go. But Reynolds, who has the 4 points for Stearns Trailer tonight, has a chance to add 2 more at the line. West picks up his first, the team's first. It is something of amazement of how much Larson Ford has on their bench. Interested to see what head coach Larry Marshall employs, as Reynolds' first shot is up and good. A little bit of context about Stearns Trailer's record so far. They have 4 more games left to play. They're undefeated right now. Reynolds hits them both. He's got 6 points. They would be only the 3rd team in JSBL history to go undefeated in a single season, and they played, I think, 12 games back then. So, you know, teams that go undefeated in 12-game seasons are a little more impressive than teams that go undefeated in 8-game seasons, but it's impressive nonetheless. Jakari Spence, guarded by Ewans Lazima. Spence, a little bit of an open in the mid-range, won't get it. Rebounded by Malik Martin. Martin goes in and slams it down. 8-6. And Stearns Trailer, who had the speed and took control early last night, hasn't come out with that same speed to start tonight, as Reynolds, 8 points. It's Shavar Reynolds, 8, and Larson Ford, 8. Martin to Nate Pierre-Louis, gets to get his first basket. He makes a nice move, no good. Rebounded by Pierre-Louis, and his putback is up and good. And he's gonna pick up a tech. Lewis had a little bit too much to, Pierre-Louis had a little bit too much to say to the referee after his layup. And Shavar Reynolds will go to the line to shoot a technical and add to his already growing point total. Reynolds' shot is up. It is good. It'll be Stearns Trailer's ball after the technical shot is. The tech came off of Pierre-Louis' make. Miles Kale to inbound. He inbounds to Spence. 3:35 gone by in the first quarter. Shavar Reynolds, 9, and Larson Ford, 10. Reynolds spinning. He's got 9 points already. He's going to take a mid-range, no good. Good job by Felizar. He draws the foul. He'll shoot 2 at the line. McCollum picks up his second. Kesley Falazar, 6'7" out of New Haven, will be shooting 2 at the line. We'll get you the stats on him. He's a pro in Spain. He played for Zonosa in Spain. He's a 1,000-point scorer at New Haven, went to Hightstown High School, and last year 18 points and 10.8 rebounds for the defending champ. Elijah Muhammad checks in for the first time tonight for Larson Ford. Second shot for Falazar is good. He scores the first point, he scores the first non-Shavar Reynolds point. And it's 10-10 with 5:59 left to play in this first quarter. Lazima passes to Pierre-Louis. Nate Pierre-Louis coming off a 59-point outburst. Last time out, he passes this time right to Shavar Reynolds. Shavar the other way with it. Jack Scott, nice layup. And it's 12-10, Stearns trailing. Shavar Reynolds picks up the assist. Pierre-Louis takes a 3. No good. That was West handling it in the corner. Rebounded, and here comes Miles Kale! An emphatic one-handed slam! And it's 14-10, defending champ. Stearns Trailer leaning over Larson Ford. West to Pierre-Louis. Back to West. West takes a three. No good. Rebounded by Lazima. Lazima passes to Pierre Lewis, who gets it swatted away as Malik Martin found the ball and got the basket. Reynolds guarded by Lazima. Holds it with 4:45 to play. He's got 17 to shoot. Reynolds wants it. Good defense by Lazima. And Reynolds misses. Rebounded by West. West to Pierre Lewis. Guarded by Miles Kale, who just had a previously electric dunk. Pierre Lewis, a three is down and good. Pierre Lewis scores. He's got 5, and it's 15-10. Kale the other way, a three, no good off the front of the rim. Lazima passes to Pierre Lewis. 3 from the exact same spot. Bottoms down. 18-14. Larson Ford with a quick 8-0 run. Jakari Spence, 35 last night. Spence, good defense by Lazima, no good. Rebounded Pierre Lewis, he wants to go fast. Pierre Lewis down the way, coast to coast. Layup no good. Right there for the putback was Malik Martin. A quick 10-0 run over about the last minute for Larson Ford. Shavar. To Felizer. Corner 3 for Jakari Spence is no good. Malik Martin the rebound. Martin gets a little bit of a screen from Elijah Muhammad. Martin passes out to West to Lazima. Lazima to Pierre Lewis. Pierre Lewis another three, no good off the front of the rim. Fight for the rebound. Goes to Latrell West. Latrell West. Out into the corner from Malik Martin. His three is no good. Rebounded by West. West to Pierre Lewis. Lewis thought about the corner three, didn't take it. Pierre Lewis. Drive, spins, layup is no good. Rebounded by Shavar Reynolds. Reynolds into the corner for Jack Scott, who connects on a three. 2:40 to play in this first quarter, 20-17. Larson Ford has the lead over Stearns trailer. Latrell West almost got a beautiful layup. He's fouled to shoot 2 at the line when we get back. I believe it's a media. Yeah, they're going to find the scorer's table says it there. First time out of the night here on Jersey Shore Basketball League Hoops Network. Larson Ford has an early advantage. They lead by 3, 20-17, with 2:32 to play in this first quarter. West will shoot 2. His first shot is up, and it's no good. West has one more. We'll get you the stats on Latrell West. He went to Kane. And he missed both. As that one will go the other way. We're going to still, I'm trying to find these stats on Latrell West. He just graduated from Kane. He's a graduate student. 18.4 points, 4.7 rebounds. He averaged 27.1 for Seashore Auto last year. Malik Martin passes to Elijah Muhammad. Pierre Lewis found an opening, thought about the three, decided not to take it. He's going to drive, make a move inside, no good. Muhammad the rebound. He passes out to Ewens Lazima, who cans a three. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. And Larson Ford has been up to the challenge against the defending champ. They lead by 6. A three in the corner for Felizar. Kesley Felizar with 1:40 to play has cut the lead to 3 as nice move by Malik Martin. His offhand layup is good. 25-20. Jakari Spence, the lone Stern Streller starter, off the floor right now. Pass is deflected. A three in the corner from Kale is no good. Pierre Lewis controls the rebound. Here he comes. One-man wrecking crew, blocked by Miles Kale. He passes to Felizar, previously hitting a three, and it's going to be a backcourt. Felizar passed to Scott, who was a little bit behind the line, and the referee signaled backcourt. 1:04 to play. As Ryan Zan comes in to replace Malik Martin. Lazima sets up a play for Pierre Lewis, who passes to ball was stolen, and the shot is no good. And it's going to be an over-the-back foul on Zan. It'll go the other way. 49 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Inside, the shot is good. I believe that's Kareem Kelsey who picked up his first foul. Here comes Shavard Reynolds. Reynolds, a shot is good. Lead's been cut to 1. 19 seconds left. Pierre Lewis and Larson Ford can hold for the final shot. Here's the double. Pierre Lewis escapes to the corner for Ryan Zan. Zan lost the handle. He's going to pass back to Lewis, who's guarded tightly by Kale. Stripped by Jack Scott. Long pass. Reynolds inside. Kale, as time expires, no good. But is there a foul? There looks like there is one. And Kale will shoot 2 as the quarter has expired. Chance to, they're going to put 0.1 second left on the clock. Kareem Kelsey picks up the foul. Miles Kale will shoot 2. Kale's first shot is no good. So 95% short. Looks like there's going to be a tie game if Kale can make this one going into the second. The second is enough time to maybe get up a half-court shot. We'll see. Kale's second shot from the line is good. Pierre Lewis. Shot won't count. Oh, he almost made it. And at the end of 1, we're tied. 25-25 will be back with the start of the second quarter next on JSBL Hoops Network. The second quarter, as Shavar Reynolds spins and gets the bounce on his mid-range. Reynolds had 11 in the quarter. He's now up to 13. Nate Pierre-Louis is on the bench to start the second, as that shot by Kelsey's no good. And here comes Larry Smith. He's blocked by Elijah Muhammad. What a block! To the corner. A three for West is no good. Rebounded by Kale. 27-25, Stearns trailer leads. Jakari Spence wide open from the corner. No good, rebounded by Muhammad. Larry Smith picks up his first foul. Malik Martin will check in for Larson Ford. West working on Jack Scott. He passes to Zan. That's not Zan, that is Griffin Barker. There's a lot of bench pieces for Larson Ford. Shavar Reynolds picks up his first foul. As Latrell West is fouled, he'll shoot two at the line with 8:44 to play in the first half. West hits his first. West has one more. Both are good, and we're tied at 27. Larry Smith spins. And he's bumped and falling to the floor. Nice move by teammate Jakari Spence. Went right there to pick him up. That's the reason why everyone in Stearns trailer really loves and roots for Jakari, as Nate Pierre-Louis checks back in. I think the nickname Great Pierre-Louis should be normalized, as he's been nothing but excellent here in this Jersey Shore Basketball League season. Kale has a little bit of an opening, and he bottoms a three. Miles Kale a three, and that one's out of bounds. Shavar continues to play well as a fight for it. Stearns Trailers picked up the defensive antics. As Martin, another three, no good. Rebounded by Barker, who lays it back in. Good job on the putback by Griffin Barker. Picks up his first points of the night. Here comes Kale. He slams it. Lost his shoe in the process. Muhammad was right there for the chase down, but Kale, beautifully done, a slam, and he's got the lead back in the hands of Stearns Trailer. Miles Kale giving us a highlight reel play in the early goings of the second quarter. Martin. Down low to Barker. Spins inside, guarded by Reynolds. Shot is no good. Muhammad fighting for the rebound. He puts up a little bit of a sky hook, no good. Controlled by Jack Scott. Jack Scott played at Princeton last year, and he lays that one up and in. And it's a 4-point lead for Stearns Trailer. Here comes Pierre-Louis. Lost the handle. Muhammad got it, rebounded it, and passed it to Latrell West, who made the shot. Here comes Jakari Spence. Jakari Spence to Miles Kale, who takes a long three, no good. Rebounded by Malik Martin. Martin with it. Martin falling down as he puts up a wild shot. It's rebounded by Kale. Here comes Spence. Spence is blocked and goes out of bounds. And with 6:46 left to play, Stearns Trailer will inbound it on their side of the court. Ryan Zan replaces Muhammad. The inbound is stolen by Malik Martin, who passes to Napier Lewis. Thought about the three, took a mid-range instead, and he canned it. We're tied at 36. Napier Lewis ties the scoring. Here comes Larry Smith, had a good night last night. Passes to Kale, who passes to Scott in the corner. His three is good. Jack Scott gives Stearns a 3-point lead. Here comes Martin. He's spinning and he's fouled by Shavar Reynolds. Shavar will pick up his second. He didn't seem to like the call. Shavar thought he got all ball. Already the fourth foul of the quarter. Shavar actually picking up his third. Malik Martin to shoot two at the line. His first is up and good. Kesley Belazar replaces Shavar Reynolds. Martin hits them both, lead down to one. Jack Scott running the point right now. He can play point guard. He's going to have a nice year at Princeton. He takes a two and hits it. It speaks to the level of depth that Stearns Trailer has when Jack Scott, someone who played on Princeton, has Napier Lewis. Skadoosh slams one down. Kale back the other way, thought about the three, no good. Lost the dribble, passes out to Spence, who passes to Larry Smith, who drives inside. He's fouled by Malik Martin. Actually, it's Ryan Zan. Zan picks up his second. Smith's first shot is no good. It rimmed out. Second shot for Larry Smith is good. 5:31 to play. It's 42-40 as Napier Lewis drives in and gets a layup. 42 all. And that's going the other way. Jack Scott picked up the offensive foul. $5:13 to play, approaching our immediate timeout of the quarter. As Napier Lewis, his shot is no good, rebounded by Balazar. Here comes Scott, Euros, stripped of the ball by West. Passes to the corner for Zan. Zan to Pierre Lewis. Pierre Lewis tries a three. No good off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Zan. Pierre Lewis cuts inside. Passes to Martin. Martin's shot is good. And Larson Ford has the lead with 4:40 to play in the half. Spence. Mid-range. No good. Rebounded by Ryan Zan. Zan passes to West. West taking it up. West. Latrell West out to Travis Barker. Griffin Barker, I apologize. Malik Martin up top with it. Thought about the three. Hesitating. Drives. Doubled. Spinning. Shot is no good. Griffin Barker couldn't grab it. Balazar does. Spence to Kale, who gets the deuce. 44 all with under 4 to play in this first half. Griffin Barker a three. bottoms out. 47-44. Larry Smith tried to answer, no good. Rebounded by Zan. Pass to Martin. Martin was stripped of the ball, but a foul. And that'll send Malik Martin to the line as Larson Ford is in the bonus. Martin will shoot 2 when we get back. Our immediate timeout of the second quarter is upon us. We'll be right back here on JSBLN Hoops coverage. Malik Martin at the line to shoot 2. Welcome back. JSBLN Hoops coverage. Actually, Martin is going to shoot 2. There was a little bit of confusion. It looked like Ewens Lazima was going to inbound it, but Larson Ford is in the bonus since Stern's trailer is over the limit. Stern's trailer in the white, Larson Ford in the light blue and yellow. Stern's trailer jerseys, if you wouldn't be mistaken, as Martin hits his first, look very similar to the UNC road whites that have become so well known over the years in the NCAA. Martin hits them both. The lead's up to 5. Shavar Reynolds is going to draw Malik Martin. Miles Kale, a deep 3, bottom. Miles Kale cuts the lead to 2. And a foul, an illegal screen on Griffin Barker, and that will go the other way. Barker picks up his first. Larry Smith with it. Near the charity stripe, a foul on Ewens Lazima. He's in disbelief. He thought it was all ball. Larson Ford's third foul of the period, or the quarter, I apologize. 3:09 in the half left to play. Jakari Spence passes to Kale, who's guarded by Barker. Tough assignment for Barker, and Kale had it stripped. It goes off his leg. And Larson Ford has the ball with 3 minutes to play in this first half. Pierre Lewis, a little bit more quiet tonight than in nights past. He's still got that ability to explode. He drives, he spins, and lays it up and in. Right on cue, the old announcer's jinx for Pierre Lewis. Here comes Smith the other way. He's fouled and will shoot 2 at the line with 2:38 to play. Ryan Zan has picked up his third foul, and Elijah Muhammad gets ready to check back in. The thing with Zan and any foul trouble tonight for Larson Ford, they have a lot of people on the bench for head coach Larry Marshall compared to Stearns, who if anyone fouls out for them, they're in trouble because they only have 5. They only have 1 extra tonight as Smith hits his first. Elijah Muhammad checks back in. He's been impressive tonight, a couple of blocks. He's done good on the boards. And through one half, Larson Ford has shown tonight that they can play with the limited pieces on the Stearns Trailer team. Now, you have to take the regular season with a grain of salt because it's always a mismatch of people. A mix and a match of people. As Pierre Lewis up top drives, takes a mid-range, wasn't fouled. I believe Pierre Lewis insinuated the contact. Doesn't matter. Larson Ford has it as it goes off Stearns Trailer. Peter Custer checks in for Ewens Lazima. Pierre Lewis slams it down off the inbound. And with 2:15 to go, the lead is 4 for Larson Ford. A battle for first place tonight has not disappointed in the first half. Kale drives, blocked. Out to Spence. Larry Smith passes out to Scott. Scott. And it's a shot clock violation. Phenomenal defense there by Larson Ford. Here comes Pierre Lewis. Pierre Lewis drives, slips one up, and it's good. Pierre Lewis has got the lead up to 6. Approaching 90 seconds to play in the first half. Salazar thought about a 3. He passes to Spence in the corner, who drives. Spence runs around, takes a little bit of a fadeaway baby, and it won't go. Rebounded by Muhammad. Here comes Nate Pierre Lewis. He's going to pass. A deflected pass to Martin. Martin drives inside, missed the shot, but got his own rebound and put it back up and in. And the lead's up to 8. Larson Ford closing the half on a high note. Larry Smith thought about a 3. Pass to Kale. Kale from the top of the key. 3's no good. Under a minute to play. Here comes Malik Martin with it. Looking for an opening. Gets the screen from Muhammad. Spins, passes to a wide open Peter Custer in the corner, and he connects. It's an 11-point lead. Peter Luster. A double-digit Larson point lead. Kale is stripped of the ball. And it's going to be a foul. Larson Ford is now over the limit. Both teams in the penalty here with 27.7 to play in the first half. Miles Kale from the line. His shot is up and good. It's now down to 10. Latrell West replaces Griffin Barker, who walks towards the corner of the gym, and Kale hit both free throws. 3-second differential between the shot and the game clock. Latrell West is handling the ball right now, not Nate Pierre Lewis. Pierre Lewis will probably end up getting involved at some point in this play. You have to think that. 10 to shoot. 10 seconds on the game clock. Here comes West. Wild shot. Here comes Spence. Spence lays it up and in. And that will do it in the first half. At the end of a half, Larson Ford impressing early on. 60-53. We'll be back with the start of the second half and first half stats after this. Welcome back to the second half of Jersey Shore Basketball League's Hoop Network. I'm joined by my play-by-play partner, Greg Kapalko. And Greg, what were some things you noticed in that first half? One of the things I noticed, Stearns Trailer looked like they didn't have enough speed or energy like they had last night.
Yeah, last night you had two top teams going head-to-head, and right out of the gate they started really hard and played hard. It's not easy to, even though it's just a game. Playing back-to-backs take a little bit out of their legs, and Stearns is going to have to find their second win here in the second half if they want to get away with this one.
One of the stars last night is Javar Reynolds sinks a three with Jakari Spence, and he's only 1 of 9 tonight. He has 2 points. He had 35 last night.
Yeah, he played really well last night, and tonight it's a lot of tough going. But hey, still has another half to bounce back.
As Pierre Lewis passes to Lazima, who hits Martin in the corner. His three is no good, rebounded by Javar Reynolds, who's taken much more control tonight than he did in the early going last night as Kale lays it in. Well, a quick 5-0 run for Stearns Trailer to start. Stearns Trailer, if they lose tonight, is in danger of losing their first of the year as West tries a three and connects.
Yeah, and again, there's a couple of new blue shirts there. Latrell West played really well last year in the league. I believe this is his first game, and Kareem Kelsey's another one that can put it in the basket a little bit, although he hasn't gotten on the board yet.
As Jack Scott puts it in the basket, and it's a 2-point game. Larson Ford being outscored by 5 in the first minute and 13 in this second half as Pierre Lewis didn't get the roll. An unfriendly bounce, something that we did not see much of last night as Jakari Spence lays it up and in, and we're tied. And Stearns Trailer has come out firing all cylinders. Come out firing, and Larson Ford will take a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Larry wants to talk it over right now. Again, you know, it's hard to play at the level that they played at, you know, every quarter of every game. And again, you know, Larson really wants to, you know, beat them. I mean, this is throughout the years in this league, Larson Ford and Stern has been a tremendous rivalry. You know, beating each other year to year. I mean, Larson knocked Stearns off a couple times in the finals going back a few years ago, and it's always, you know, a nail biter. So why should tonight be any different?
You're definitely right about that. It was a good timeout by Larry Marshall. He could sense his team getting a little bit tense as Stearns Trailer has outscored them by 7 in this quarter. Outscoring them 10-3. Nate Pierre Lewis has been a little bit more quiet than in nights past as Latrell West misses the three. Rebounded by Balazar. And back to Miles Kale. Javar Reynolds, who's taken a lot more control of tonight's game with Jakari Spence being a little bit off. Spence has it now. Spence, guarded by Lazima, and it's stolen by Pierre Lewis. Here he comes. Pierre Lewis slams it down. He is a special player. A momentum potential shifting play there. Jack Scott's three, no good. And Nate Pierre Lewis, 59 earlier this week, just made maybe the play of the season so far.
Yeah, Spence hung that ball in the, wow, that's a long one, a little short.
Off, but Martin grabs the rebound. Lazima fires it out to West. West a wide open three, no good, no. The bounces have not been as friendly as they were in Game 2 last night, as McCallum missed. Here comes Spence with it. The rim was so friendly last night.
Yeah, it has a way of turning on you.
As Javar lost it, and then McCollum was fouled.
A little too much contact as Kale really impeded his way to the basket, and refs are going to call that most of the time, which they did in that instance. By the way this game started off, there was a lot of contact under the boards for both teams, and it took the teams a little while to get into the flow the way the refs were calling this one, and they're letting them play.
The way these two teams are playing tonight is Pierre Lewis missed it, and Martin misses the putback. But Reynolds' inbound pass was thrown right to Martin, who gets it in.
Yeah, you're not supposed to throw the ball back towards your own basket. Ball is better off going out of bounds, and you throw it back that way, and you don't know who's there. Led to an easy 2.
Shavar Reynolds is so good, he assisted the player on the other team.
That he did.
Jack Scott in the corner, guarded by Lazima, and he dribbled it out of bounds. Good defense by Ewens Lazima.
Scott a little undecided what to do. Jack's hit a couple of nice long passes, a couple of nice finishes at the rim. Tried to do a little too much that time.
Nate Pierre-Louis, whose steal and dunk seem to have switched the momentum back in Larson Ford's way, and a nice layup there. He was fouled too.
Not tonight.
Kale out to Shavar, who tries a 3, no good. Rebounded by Balazar. Here comes Kale! They cleared out for that one. I don't think I've seen a lane clear out that fast all season.
No, it cleared out on that play.
Here comes Latrell West. Pierre-Louis tries another deep 3 off the rim. The way these two teams are playing, they're going to be excited that they have the weekend off as Kale a 3, no good off the front of the rim. Jakari Spence tips it. Reynolds tries a 3 of his own and bottoms it out. Great tip in by Jakari Spence to keep that play alive.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row here at the JSBL. These late games have been barn burners.
As Pierre-Louis didn't get it to go, McCollum was fighting for the rebound and it went off on Balazar. 69-68 with 5:03 to play in quarter number 3. Larry Smith checks back in. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that that Stearns fell behind the way they did in the first half, they actually were at rebound of 29-17 in the first half. And that always leads to second shots and extra possessions, and it actually did, where Larson Ford had 15 second chance points to 1 for Stearns in the first half. So they were very aggressive, on the boards, and it really paid off. This quarter, not so much, and that's why the lead has been cut to 1.
It's funny, Stearns Trailer was so good at getting the rebounds last night, dealing with a height disadvantage and putting up second chance points, and it feels like tonight the height disadvantage has actually come back to bite them, as the speed they played with last night hasn't been right there.
That's because Larson is just as quick as they are. There was a big speed advantage last night between Seaview and Stearns, but there's a lot of quickness out there in the guys in the blue and gold.
I talked to Xander Rice earlier today, and Xander was talking about the game last night and how he wanted to be there as Nate Pierre-Louis counted in the foul. And if Xander Rice was there, I was telling him, if you guys had that extra ball handler that you are, it could have been a much different outcome.
Yeah, he would have definitely had an impact on that game. The couple of the players for Seaview just couldn't match the quickness. And he definitely would help them on both ends of the floor, offense and defense.
As Reynolds tries a deep 3 off the side of the rim, rebounded by Balazar. Another 3 from Reynolds is good.
2 shots, that offensive rebound, three more second chance points this time for Stearns Trailer.
Stearns Trailer looks to be settling into their game as Pierre-Louis is fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Tough not to make that foul call.
It's been another great night of matchups, but I think the matchup that most people this season are looking forward to are the 2 players that have scored 59 and 60 points respectively. Pierre-Louis and Justin Robinson will be absolute box office. You want to make sure to get down here for it, and maybe bring some popcorn too.
Well, traditionally here at Manasquan High School, at least at the football games, they sell, I believe the cheerleaders sell popcorn, and it's always a big hit. Unfortunately, they're off for the summer.
We might need to get them back down here for that matchup as Pierre-Louis goes 1 of 2 from the line. Larry Smith a 3 to take the lead is no good. Good tip in by Jack Scott. Another second chance point opportunity. And they won't count as second chance points, but in my book they will. Ball is out of the line to shoot 2. Lazima picks up his second. Gets a little consultation from Shavar Reynolds, who's having a nice conversation, those two.
Yeah, both teams are actually missing a couple of key players tonight. Stearns is only 6 people. A couple of their guys aren't here tonight. Larson's still short a couple of their players. So, as the season winds on, everybody comes to the house, and the games are going to get nothing but better.
And if this is a benchmark for games without people, you can only be excited about the games when everyone's going to be here. Larson Ford has a massive bench tonight, so they pretty much have everyone. Nate Pierre-Louis, the game's tied at 73. Drives, the speed, the shot no good. Fight for it, it'll be out on Larson Ford, and Stearns Trailer has a chance to take the lead. Going down the floor. 4:06 to play in this third quarter. Here comes Larry Smith. That's actually Shavar Reynolds. He missed the board, missed the shot. And I believe that'll be Balazar going back to the line as Elijah Muhammad gets ready to check in. No, they move it to the side.
And it's only the second team foul, and we're not close to the 2-minute mark of the quarter. So, yes, it will be a side out with a 14-second shot clock.
Elijah Muhammad is now they're changing it. Oh, they are going to rule it on the shot. They'll send
Felisar to the line. Kesley Felisar.
Felisar, the biggest player on the floor for Stearns Trailer. He's 6'7", an inch taller than Miles Kale, who's 6'6". Still a height disadvantage, especially when Muhammad's on the floor. Muhammad's 6'11". As Balazar goes 1 of 2 from the line, and good hustle by Jakari Spence, as Griffin Barker is the one that ends up getting it out of bounds called on.
Yeah,
Here comes Latrell West. He passes to Muhammad, and I believe they call a travel. They do. Something that I want to know, Griffin Barker, when he's been on the floor today, it feels like Larson Ford has not been. There's been a mismatch when Griffin Barker has been on the floor tonight. Balazar's 3 is way off.
Might have been deflected by Muhammad.
Muhammad's a difference maker, especially with that size, as Latrell West's shot is no good. Spence, good pass to Smith. Smith is altered, and they rule a foul.
Well, sometimes, and you can see it in the NBA, a guy will go up for a shot, no whistle, ball doesn't go in, a lot of contact, and then you get the delayed whistle, because if they make it, they forget about it. And that one there kind of looked like Jay Hub, who made that call, called it that way.
It looked like Smith had didn't look like there was that much contact, and it looked like Smith kind of sold it a little bit. He's that type of player where he sells contact at a very high level. Lead is up to 2. Chance to extend it to 3. His shot is up and good. And Stearns Trailer, who trailed by 7 going into the third, is now up by 3. Outscoring Larson Ford by 10 in this quarter. Here comes Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis' shot is up and good. He hasn't been as efficient tonight as he was when he scored 59, as Larry Smith missed. The putback is no good. Scott has the rebound. Out to Smith, who drives inside, and the shot's no good. Another tip-in's no good. And then Scott finally is fouled on his putback. That also went down.
And again, those second chance points adding up for Stearns. A lot of extra possessions created by them, and they pulled ahead.
Since Ewins Lazima's gone off the floor, Larson Ford has been outscored by about 5. Scott misses, and then the ball bounces off Griffin Barker's head to Jakari Spence. You do not see that happen much often. Jack Scott, 3, no good. He saw that, he missed it. You can tell by his reaction. Here comes Pierre Lewis. His pass is tipped and then stolen by Balazar. Spence waits for Larry Smith, who drives inside on Barker and is fouled. And Stearns Trailer is just absolutely having their way with Larson Ford right now.
Yeah, they found a nice second wind here in the second half.
And Griffin Barker is a guy they've especially picked on. They've gone right at him. Larry Smith's shot is up and good. Ryan Zanchek's back in. Ewins Lazima is still on the bench. Smith, 2 for 2. A big third quarter. Stearns Trailer outscoring Larson Ford by 12. And another turnover. Here comes Larry Smith with it, 2-on-1, no good. And Pierre Lewis has the rebound. Pierre Lewis flips up a wild shot, rebounded by Balazar. And that's tipped out of bounds. It actually looked like it's going to be off on Larson Ford, but it looked like it had hit Balazar. Nonetheless, Stearns Trailer has it. They've turned it up in this second half, and Reynolds misses. Here comes Pierre Lewis, who's fouled, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Lewis that time actually drove into the defender to create the contact, which he's been doing a lot tonight, and this time he did get the call.
Stearns Trailer has played him and Justin Robinson, arguably the top 2 players in the league, very, very tough these past 2 nights.
Well, one of the reasons is they have a lot of quickness in the backcourt, and they can play multiple players on him. But at the end of the day, Pierre Lewis is still headed towards 40 tonight.
As did Justin Robinson. They'll let him beat him to an extent. But the thing is, Malik Martin, who is having his way in the first quarter, has been a non-factor in the second half. Spence at mid-range, that falls. Lead back up to 5, under 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Martin has it in the corner, drives inside, a lot of contact and a foul.
And the Larson bench is not happy.
They're gonna call it a jump ball. Wow. Larson Ford has a reasonable gripe for that one. It looked like there was tons of contact on Malik Martin from Balazar. Martin's got to be careful. He might get teed up. Long 3 for Pierre Lewis off the front of the rim. Maybe a little too far of a shot. Reynolds lost his dribble, but Spence was right there. Spence also lost his dribble, but somehow got it to go. Here comes Pierre Lewis, guarded by Smith. He passes to Martin. Martin's been haggled in this second half, and he makes a 3 there. The old announcer's jinx.
That'll do it.
If Malik Martin gets going, you can credit us, Larson Ford fans.
Dan, you can have all the credit.
I was trying to be modest. Nice pass from Larry Smith. And Balazar lays it up and in. And this run, I want to point out, has been done with Miles Kell on the bench.
With 6, you got to rest everybody, and they want them fresh for the 4th.
As Martin lost his dribble. And that's going to be an offensive foul. No, it's not. Larson Ford is infuriated with the referees.
And it's not the first time this season that they are. But I have to say, officiating, it's a tough job. Again, the players are very athletic. They're very fast. The game is fast. And even though it's a summer league, these guys are playing hard. And if they called every single touch, we'd be here till midnight.
I want to point out that I don't think it's as much to do with the referees as it is the brand of basketball that Stearns Trailer plays is meant to get under people's skin.
And as long as they're knocking down shots, they're going to stick with that style.
They're a very physical team, maybe the most physical team in this league. And with the speed and physicality combination as Jakari Spence had it stripped, 2.1 seconds. They do have a chance for a quick shot. But that's what makes them so dangerous, trying to improve to 5-0. Larry Smith's buzzer beater goes! An exclamation point on a dominant third quarter for Stearns Trailer.
And that was a dagger, that one.
89-82. Larson Ford looks deflated going back to their huddle. We'll be right back with the start of the fourth quarter next here on JSBL Hoops Network. Welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter. Larson Ford entered the third leading by 7. They now end up trailing by 7 after a 36-22 third quarter for Stearns Trailer. Martin, not as much of a factor in the third as he takes a shot. Doesn't go. Fight for the rebound and great positioning by Miles Kale, who draws the over-the-back foul on Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad picks up his second, and Stearns Trailer has become a pest in the thorn. As another quick foul. That's 2 quick fouls, and that's not what you want to start the fourth quarter.
No, not at all.
Larson Ford just feels like they can't handle the speed, and still no Ewins Lazima on the floor right now. Here comes Balazar. Blocked by Muhammad.
Big time block.
Here comes the other way. West missed a shot. And it will, no ruling yet. Go the other way. As Kale misses the layup, here comes Martin. Martin with a little bit of a fast break, he passes. An open chance for Pierre Lewis, whose shot is no good. More good defense by Stearns Trailer. They've taken him out. Him and Martin were the leading scorers of the first half for Larson Ford, and they've been very quiet since the start of the second half.
Well, of the 82 points that they have up to this point, you have Malik Martin with 28.
And Scott's blocked by Pierre Lewis.
And Pierre Lewis with 32. So they have 60 of the 82 points. They're just not getting enough scoring from the rest of the players.
Offensive foul drawn by Balazar. And you're right, as we're going to have a perspiration timeout real fast. Someone else needs to step up. It can't be Martin and Pierre Lewis. They need someone else.
Yeah, again, if you look at the stats, the end of the third quarter stats, Stearns with 4 guys with double figures plus 1 player with 8 and the other with 9. So they're going to end up with all 6 guys at double figures. And, when the offense comes diversified like that from all the players, teams are a lot more difficult to defend. I mean, if you're Stearns, that, Pierre Lewis and Malik Martin are going to be shooting the bulk of the shots, which through the first 3 quarters of their 71 shots, they took 51 of them. Where Stearns it's much more spread out offensively.
And that's where not having guys like TJ Copeland, who's on the bench right now but not suiting up tonight, as he just got back from the Peach Championship, and Jaheim Tanksley really hurts.
Yeah, Tanksley's a player that last year in the league averaged, I believe, 30-plus points per game.
And Copeland's an absolute monster who's a senior in high school, and as you pointed out, looks 5 years older than he actually is.
Plays 5 years. Not looks, plays it. He does look it, but yeah.
As Martin misses, rebounded by Pierre Lewis, who passes out. A corner pass to Latrell West. Started off hot, missed shots since, and he hits that one.
Yeah, West can put the ball in the basket. He just needs to, find the touch. Because he's going to get open looks because of what they're going to do to the other 2 guys. And he finally got one and knocked it down.
That was a massive 3. Cutting the lead to 6. It just felt like someone else needed to score a basket because it felt like Stearns' trailer had been absolutely suffocating Larson Ford. Kale almost lost it. He bumps it out to Reynolds. Reynolds lost the handle on that one. Gets it back. Takes a 3 as the shot clock expires. And another dagger. That one rattled in.
That's 2 really tough threes. One at the end of the third by Smith, and that one with 1 second on the shot clock. And, it's a 9-point game, but that's 6 points that this game would be really a 1-basket game without those 2.
And those are always the most deflating ones, as one that comes with the shot clock going down and expiring, or.
And that was a very difficult shot for Shavar. Again, it wasn't a wide open. They were on him. He barely got it off, but it rattled around, but it went down. Again, a huge 3. And, again, instead of a 6-point game with the possession in Larson's favor, it's 9. And the 3 that West just hit was just nullified by Reynolds' 3.
It just feels like everything – Stearns Trailer has had an answer for everything in this half. And Larson Ford has not had an answer for really anything Stearns Trailer has thrown at them. Barker's back in. And I believe he's
blocking foul on Felisar.
Balazar picks up his 5th. And if he fouls out, could lead to a big advantage for Larson Ford, and he's going to get pulled out to the bench.
The JSBL rules, the way it works is that if you have any guys on the bench and someone fouls out, the guy that fouls out of the game. When you're down to 5 players, if another player fouls out, the player actually gets to stay in the game, and every foul he commits is a technical foul shot.
Which we saw earlier with WCT's Daniel Regis picking up more than 6. He picked up 7, and that 7th was a tech. As Pierre Lewis drives and gets one. Larry Smith guarded by Barker. And he almost lost it, but it rolled out. This one he does lose. Here comes Malik Martin with it the other way. Martin to the rim and gets it. A huge stop and then a basket on the other end. The lead is 5. Reynolds guarded by Pierre Lewis. Martin looked to double and then backed off. 1-on-1, he ISOs, he drives. Nice move, creating separation, and then the mid-range falls. Reynolds created space and did it really well as Martin, the pass to Martin is tipped. Here comes Reynolds the other way. Here comes Kale, missed, rebounded by Larry Smith. Larry Smith out to Reynolds. to Kale. Kale to Jack Scott. Out to Larry Smith up top. 5 to shoot. Smith inside, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Actually, they're going to call a jump ball. This should be one that Zan should win with the height advantage, but
he doesn't.
He doesn't. As a shot clock, no, it was a fresh 14. Spence missed. Rebounded. Is there a reason why Iwas Lazima is off the floor right now?
Couldn't tell you.
He's been such a revelation tonight, and Larson Ford has been better when he's on the floor. As timeout called. Wow. They didn't have possession, but they get the timeout. And the crowd is in disbelief, not happy with the ref's call, but they will call the timeout.
I don't know that they gave him a timeout.
Maybe it was a. Oh. And you know the saying, the ball don't lie? The ball did not lie there. Larson Ford picks up a foul. To credit Larson Ford, they had picked up 2 fouls in the first 30 seconds of this quarter. They haven't picked up a foul up until that point as McCollum checks in. You got to credit the discipline of Larson Ford. Shavar Reynolds guarded by Pierre Lewis. Larry Smith by McCollum. He gets by him. Blocked away! But Scott comes away with the rebound. That was Martin who blocked it. That one almost stolen, and then it goes the other way. It's going to be a backcourt. That backcourt actually benefits Stearns Trailer.
Yeah, that would have been a 2-on-none.
And almost 95% of the time, that results in points. Larson Ford looking, do they have a run in them? Down 7 with 5 to play. Martin drives, puts up an impossible shot. His back was turned, and he just flipped it up, and it went in.
Been easier if he used his right hand on that.
Kale thought about the 3, held it, passes to Scott. Scott guarded by Zan, and he's bumped. Now that's not a foul you'd like to see as a coach.
Well, that's because he's not moving his feet, and Scott a little bit quicker, had to step on him. Probably a good foul because instead of a layup or an and one.
Scott. Flips it up and in. Jack Scott extends the lead to 7. Here comes Martin with it. Martin getting doubled, and he lost it. It'll go the other way.
Yeah, frustration set in there as Stearns with a quick double, knocked the ball away after he lost a little bit of a push. And from here on out, Stearns will be shooting in the bonus.
Here comes Lazima with 4:20 to play. He sat for a very long time, and in that time, Larson Ford was able to grow the lead to 7, and now a technical has been assessed.
Can't be a Larson game without a tech.
Malik Martin picks up the tech. Shavar is going to shoot the free throw. And Stearns Trailer has caused technicals in back-to-back nights. Larry Smith is someone that if I was playing basketball against, I think I would just pack up and go home. As there's a timeout on the floor with 4:15 left. We'll stay right here.
And the way this game is going, Dan, I don't know if Larson has another run in them. I mean, they seem very frustrated. Their scoring has been primarily by two guys, and neither one. Again, earlier in the week, we saw Pierre Lewis basically hitting them from the half-court circle towards the end of that game. He isn't on fire as much, and again, he's being defended by multiple defenders, and it's really making it tough on him. Plus, they're allowing a lot of contact when he goes down the lane. Have to absolutely earn everything.
But it is something that, even though Stearns Trailer doesn't have everyone, Larson Ford doesn't either. It's such a tough way to gauge who's really better because both teams don't have everyone here.
Sometimes when you have all your players here, you still don't win the game. So, it's not who's here or who's not here. It's who plays the best as a unit, when whoever's on the court.
And Stearns Trailer obviously has done that well. They're the defending champs, trying to advance to 5-0 as another. Oh, it's a travel. And now Stearns Trailer's like, everyone's getting angry with the officials. But for Larson Ford does have that one to be happy about. 4:03 to play. Does Larson Ford have a run in? Then we'll find out. West had created a little separation, didn't take the shot. He tries one there, no good. Rebounded by McCollum. McCollum throws it to Kale.
Careless pass.
And it looks like there's a little bit of more of disinterest now from Larson Ford as they've trailed. Corner for Balazar. He lays it up and in. And that run doesn't look like it's going to come. Pierre Lewis and a push. And Balazar is fouled out with 3:30 to play. This is a development.
Yeah, it just got Stearns quicker. Because with Smith in the game, they picked up speed. And, again, height hasn't really hurt him. Again, big rebounding edge here in the second half for Stearns anyway.
As Pierre Lewis, go figure, goes right inside. Well, that's what it could open up. It could open up the inside area. As Scott blocked by Muhammad. Reynolds was able to get it. Spence is going to take it. No, he's not. He's going to pass to Kale. Open pass for Reynolds, no good, and it's tipped out by Spence. And on their last offensive possession and now the defensive possession, Larson Ford looked like the better team at both ends of the court right there. Pierre Lewis spins, drives, missed a shot, gets his own rebound, contact, no foul, and it'll go the other way, rebounded by Reynolds. A lot of contact again. Kale, the other way. 2:40 to play. Still plenty of time left if Larson Ford wants to make a run, but they need some stops. And a foul. Actually, it's a defensive 3-second violation, and Shavar Reynolds will shoot one.
Yeah, defensively, you have to be you have to be with 3 feet with your man or doubling the ball. You can't be in the paint just playing an area. And that's what Elijah Muhammad was doing that time and got caught.
Careless violation there for Larson Ford. 2:30 to play. Reynolds got it. And it says up to 11. Larson Ford needs points, and they need them fast as there's a foul. That's going to be the 4th on Stearns, which means Larson Ford will be shooting free throws the rest of the way.
That will be a violation.
And it looks like Larson Ford may or may have not checked out.
Well, again, a lot of the players who play here are not pros playing in pro leagues. And, in the NBA game, if you're inbounding in the front court, unless it's within the last 2 minutes of the game, the ball has to be entered into the front
As
court.
Scott missed the three. Tip back to Reynolds. Another rebound. Spence's three, no good. Rebounded by Lazima. 2 minutes left. Still a slight chance. Lazima drives inside. Missed a layup. Muhammad couldn't quite corral the rebound. Here comes Spence. Kale has the trail. Alley-oop opportunity. Ends up going out on West, who tapped it out. Looks like Stearns Trailer is going to improve to 5-0, meaning they only need 3 to go. 3 more wins for them means an undefeated season would only be the 3rd time it's happened in JSBL history.
Schedule's quite different, though, these days. Back in the early days of the JSBL, teams would play 14 regular season games. The league would start a little earlier, but now with the league starting almost the last week of June, teams are only playing a 7-game regular season.
As Larry Smith hits the dagger, and that will basically end it.
Quite a second half, though, on both ends of the court for Stearns, offensively and defensively.
It once again looked like it was going the way of a barn burner in the first half and about midway through the 3rd quarter. And then Stearns Trailer just turned it up to that championship level as Pierre Lewis flips it up.
Larson has only scored 35 points here in the second half.
Compared to Stearns, who has 54.
Larson scored 35 back in the second quarter.
As they missed. And then the putback by Larry Smith. Now, here, the honest question is, do you think there's anyone, as Pierre Lewis, an emphatic slam, is there anyone in the league that can compete and beat Stearns Trailer? As Reynolds nails it.
Absolutely. Again, a lot's going to depend who's here and who's playing well. I mean, Larson on a given night can win. Seaview on a given night can win, and Orthopedic if they get their full score. Again, it's every game's not a gimme. I can tell you that, and Stearns will still have to earn them.
As Reynolds hanging on the rim, putting down a slam. Another team I'm going to throw out there is, and this is a big if Scotty Lewis plays for Seashore Auto, that is a difference maker.
Well, again, it depends on how healthy he is. He's coming off a really bad injury. Again, we don't even know for sure if he's been cleared.
Yes. Pierre Lewis puts an impressive dunk down, and here comes Spence. Spence is going to try to dunk it to himself, and he does! Oh, my. The end of this has turned into a little bit of a dunk contest. Here comes one more. Lazima missed the layup. And that'll do it for the week of JSBL. The final game tonight yields a final score of 116-199 as Kale hits a half-court shot. And for Stearns Trailer, once again, they show their impressive dominance in the second half.
Yeah, they really little bit of a sluggish start. Again, playing back-to-backs hurt them a little bit, but again, we haven't got the final stat sheet, but what you have is Stearns probably put 6 guys in double figures, and we only saw 2 guys really in double figures dominate the entire offense for Stearns. They're going to have to, spread that offense out a little bit more, because if you only have to defend 2, you can double them, and that's kind of what they did with Pierre Lewis. There was really nowhere to go, and again, the other guys either didn't get enough looks or enough good looks and get a chance to knock them down to make you defend all the players, and that really hurt them. But hopefully speaking, it's a good week of basketball this week. We have 3 good games next week, 3 good doubleheaders, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll be back for the final 2 regular season games, and the playoffs will be starting the Thursday, headed into the last weekend of July.
Which is always an exciting time around here. And Stearns Trailer, 3 more games left to play, obviously. They're now 5-0.
Well, actually, I believe I believe 2 more regular season games because every team plays 8 teams. Everybody plays each other one time. So if they're 5-0, I believe they play next Thursday, and then they have 1 game the following week against, I believe, Orthopedic, who's their last game. They have RKE and Orthopedic left. So one of those 2 will have to upset them. Otherwise, they'll be potentially undefeated going into the playoffs with the number 1 seed.
And defending champs last year looked all a bit like the favorites to win the championship this year.
After this week of play, absolutely.
Now, we are getting handed the stat sheets by our producer, Eddie. And we're going to interview Shavar Reynolds, who pretty quiet last night. He put up 38 tonight, had 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Kesley Falazar had 13 points, 14 rebounds, and at the half, rebounds were really in the favor of.
Yeah, they were big time in the favor of Larson. Where the second half, it ended up Larson still won the rebound battle slightly, but they were out rebounded big time in the second half.
Stearns Trailer also dominated the second chance points. They had, I believe, 3 in the first half,
yes,
18 in the second.
Yeah, and again, that's absolutely. And their bench scoring, even though it was only 1 guy, outscored the Larson bench 17-8. But again, Martin with 32, Pierre Lewis with 42, and Latrell West with 12, the 3 top scorers, and Stearns 6 guys double figures, led by Reynolds with 38. So you balance the scoring, you play good defense, and you're unselfish with the basketball, and you walk away with a win. So 2 good wins, back-to-back nights. Stern beat Larson tonight, and last night CVG. So the rest of the league's going to have its work cut out for them to dethrone them.
Very much so, and we'll talk to Shavar Reynolds in a second. And I think one of the big things that Shavar and Miles Cale played together in college.
Yes.
Then Shavar and Jakari played that 1 year at Monmouth together. That's very good chemistry from your 3 most important players on your team.
It is, and every single day in practice, going at each other, develop a friendship, a little camaraderie, and looks like we're going to get Shavar in a second or 2 as he's making his way up to the broadcast booth. And I want to turn over the headset to Shavar.
Shavar, I'm here with Shavar Reynolds, 4-year player at Seton Hall and 1 year at Monmouth. And Shavar, 38 points tonight. You seem much more assertive in the offensive game. What was the difference between last night's victory and tonight's victory for you?
Just the simple fact that Miles Cale went for 31. I think Jakari went for 35. So when they playing, I don't have to do as much and let them play, and I'm fine with that. So tonight they didn't have it going, so I just had to pick up the slack for them. That's it.
Very efficient, 14 of 22 tonight. And going up against, some may say, the best player in the league, Nate Pierre-Louis. How was that experience like for you tonight?
Experience of what exactly?
Going up against Nate. Nate's a great player. You are as well. You absolutely shined in the victory and really locked him up in the second half.
I wouldn't say I locked him up. It was a team effort. He's a great player. It's good to have that exposure, having somebody that plays in the NBA. So it's always good to compete and go head-to-head with somebody like that.
Now, you spent 4 years at Seton Hall with Miles Cale, 1 year at Monmouth with Jakari Spence. How much does that help you guys being teammates in previous college years here?
Oh, tremendously, because it's about the chemistry. The best basketball teams are the teams that when players genuinely like each other. Like me and Jakari have known each other for a decade now. Me and MC are going on like 6 years. Me and Larry are going on at least 8 years, I think. So just the chemistry is there, so we all know what each other's going to do. We all going to get after it on defense. We're all going to score when we need to. We're not going to be selfish. It flows. It's just beautiful.
You guys were really frustrating Larson Ford in that second half. Is that something you guys take pride in, frustrating the other team? As you guys frustrated Justin Robinson last night as well, your defense really suffocated as the second half went on.
Oh, yeah, we played defense. We got hurt. We're not going to just come out here and just – like, we're here, let's play. We're going to try to win. We're going to get after you because end of the day, we're all from a different part of the world in terms of how we go about everything. We got heart. We got pride. We're not just going to let somebody come out here and just kill us. Nah, never. So defense is definitely a top priority for sure.
Now, one last thing. You guys are now 5-0 this year, the defending champs. You guys would be the 3rd team ever in JSBL history to be undefeated if you guys win your next 2. Is that something you guys are looking for?
I ain't gonna say we're looking forward to it, but if we do, we do it. We might Warriors at 73-9 and try to go after it. I actually seen a recent interview. Draymond said they were trying to get it. So, I mean, if they can do it, we might try to get it too.
The defending champs, Shavar Reynolds. I apologize. It's
You're
been
good,
a long
you're good,
night for
you're
me.
good, man.
Shavar, thank you so much for doing it. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Thank you. Shavar Reynolds, thank you for the interview. We'll be back next week starting on Tuesday with the end of the regular season, last full week of regular season play. That's it for us tonight here at Jersey Shore Basketball League. Have a great night. Enjoy the weekend, everyone.